Greetings duelists and welcome to another video. So I'm going to do something I haven't done in a while, and it is covering the OCG. More particularly, I'm gonna cover just one tournament because I feel there are some good ideas from tournaments that we can gather. This is my first time doing this bit a different segue into this content, so feel free to let me know if you guys really like this and if you're interested in me doing them in the future. I am a person that looks a lot into the OCG. I didn't used to do it too much in the past, but as of late I've been watching a lot of it because Blazing Dominion is a set that I really do enjoy. As a set, I have a friend in the OCG that plays like enough duels. She does remote duels every weekend with Blazing Dominion now legal. Well, in OCG in general, but now that Blazing Dominion is legal, she will probably do them with Blazing Dominion strategies moving forward. And it also is a good idea to look into these because whenever we get this set on May, like in the TCG, maybe some ideas that spark from some of these deck lists, no pun intended, might be into fruition for the future. Also, I kind of want to preface this. Sometimes when decks or strategies do well in one tournament, there are just one-trick ponies and you don't see them again. But it's also still really important to like bring them up because it could just foster other ideas in the future for like rogue players in general or stuff like that. All right, so this is the Thai Festival Series Crathon Legacy Special. I think it is a conventional event. It is 120 participants, which is a sizable amount. It is the size of a regional, what you would expect. And this is post Blazing Dominion, which is very important to mention. This also happened this past weekend. So yeah, let's get straight into the strategies. It was a 2-day event, very similar to like YCS, and there was top cut elimination, top 64, and the first deck that won it was Malice. If you've been on my channel, you already know that this is one of my favorite archetypes of the past year. I really do like Malice. I think it's still a strong contender to this day. And apparently it still is in the OCG. Even with Red Ransom gone, they managed to just keep the deck afloat. So what changed for them? One particular thing that I've noticed is they are playing Dominant Spark. Yeah, I didn't think Dominant Spark would have made the cut in this deck because of just a few other non-dark monsters that you're playing in your strategy. But you can activate light monsters as well. So Firewall Dragon still works. You're shutting off Transcode Talker, but this is a really strong hand trap. Like, this is a hand trap that banishes a monster. And if you pair this alongside Dominance Impulse, it's just really devastating for your opponent. If you go first and you cycle through some of your traps, your opponent does not get to summon from the hand with Dominant Spark, and you get to have a pop with your negate alongside the Dominance Impulse. So that's one big thing I've noticed from it. Stay tuned for the next Underground episode, where we will talk about this a little more in depth. But something I noticed is we're playing Terahertz again with the Save Worm. No pack bit, surprisingly. But I think this is enough. I think with... again, I will talk about more in depth in the next episode, which will probably be the following Friday. But this is a very solid Malice list. I think they have everything going for it, and I just want to preface this, like, we still have 3 Allure of Darkness, so you can just shave some ratios here. We still have 3 Ash Blossoms. Like White Binder is gone, but I think Red Ramson is still very strong as a card. The Embers you want to make with this deck are still the Embers you can make with this deck. Yeah, not much to say on Malice. Really solid strategy moving forward in Blazing Dominion. I think Dominant Spark is a really cool card, and the fact that this deck can play it already gives it a really good edge. Is it a one-trick pony and we won't see in other events? We'll just have to wait and see. They do have 3 Underground and 3 Rabbit, which is something we don't have. Something to mention. Alright, so second deck here is Elfnote. I really like Elfnote. I think this is going to be a really strong contender moving forward. I think Regina as a card is just really strong for the deck. Also, Fraudalis Harmonia is another really strong card. If you haven't seen my video on it, I did make a video on it, but you know, Fraudalis Harmonia is my favorite hand trap at the moment. It's incredibly hard to stop, and I personally am in agreement with Joshua Schmidt. If you haven't seen his video, like on the take of Harmonia, I do recommend it. Same with Sonny's video. I might post it in the description, both videos. Yeah, like for me, any deck that can play Harmonia is going to be just very strong. I think Regina being able to summon on turn 0 and just enable strong turn 0 plays with Elfnote in general is also very strong. Yeah, I think this deck is going to keep topping, like, in the foreseeable future. This list is playing 5 Power Patrons alongside the Patron Field Spell and the Patron Spell, which is something I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting that many Power Patrons. I was expecting just the Elfnote Power Patron and nothing else. But it does make sense. Like, Medius the Pure can summon the Elfnote Power Patron. Junora is in the extra deck because of this. The Field Spell can also summon it from the deck, if I'm not mistaken. They are playing Jet Synchron. I don't know if Jet Synchron is worth playing in this list, especially since they're not playing the what's the name of the card? You know which card I'm talking about. The Sinful Spoils original Snake Eye. That one. I'm so that like with seeing Jet Synchron, I probably would have thought a card like that would have fit into this deck, but I digress. It's not there. Really solid list. Mourner is really popular in the OCG because of the way the card is ruled and the way the card works against Radiant Typhoon. Also, this card is really strong against the Elfnote Mirror match as well. So yeah, really solid list. I really like this deck. I might play this deck like when all the support comes out. Lunalight. So we haven't seen Lunalight in a while. I haven't profiled Lunalight in my channel for a fair bit. I think the last time I profiled it was like when I won the World Championship Celebration event. Maybe it was a little bit afterward that. Feel free to check out my playlist. Is in Season 6. Season 6X specifically. So they're playing Apex Fusion, which is another new card from Blazing Dominion. So for those who don't know what that card is, that card fuses into a monster that has the original type and attribute as a monster on board, or just summons it from the extra deck, and then immediately on resolution just fuses with it. I can see why this card is played in Lunalight. Essentially what you're going to do is you're going to summon like one of your Perfume Dancers and just summon Climb into either Leo Dancer or Liger Dancer. Like, it just gives you an extra body before fusing, which is really cool in Lunalight. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's basically polymerization with like an extra oomph to it. And the best thing about this card is it cannot be responded to, so they can't even Retaliating Sea or Dominus Impulse it, which kind of makes Luna a scary deck. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, really cool idea. Uh, will we see this in the future? I don't know. But another thing that we noticed is they are playing Dominant Spark in the side deck. This is another deck that can play it. It does shut down a lot of your non-fusions, but again, if this resolving wins you the game, so be it, right? I think in a breaker heavy format, this deck can thrive again. So, like, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens on May, right? But really cool list, and everything's valid. The fact that they're playing new cards, it's also really cool for me. They are playing Featherstorm. We do have, and they have Barrier. Those cards are forbidden in the TCG, so none of those shenanigans. All right, so the next one is Cool Tune. I think Rotary really helped the deck. I think the deck is significantly stronger now with Rotary as a card. Back to back, being able to be summoned as a win condition is also really strong in this deck. I am surprised seeing the 3 copies of Remix, but it is a very strong recursive synchro, and this can resummon back the Track Maker, which gives you like an extra oomph to it. I have nothing to say about this deck. I will say this: it is very odd to me that they're not playing Fraudalis Harmonia. I would have played Fraudalis Harmonia in this deck, even if I don't get to synchro off with it. The fact that it's just a recurable tuner that is really hard to stop as an interruption is a really good going second card, and it doesn't conflict against your deck at all because your deck is entirely synchro. And it's a tuner, so you can even summon it even under the Cool Tune lock. That's my one critique. I probably would have played that card. Everything else looks solid. I think Ghost Ogre is valid now. This hurts Elfnote if you do it against Regina. This is strong against Ecclesia of the Dark Dragon if you play against like the branded Dracotail deck. This card has some merit, and it's a tuner. You know, you want to play as many Ghost Girls, right? They're playing Rose Whip in the main deck, which is something I wasn't expecting. That gives the deck a really strong edge against Radiant Typhoon and against like a lot of decks in general, because a lot of board breakers are spell cards. So Rose Whip just being able to make it so they can only activate one is very awkward for them, especially if you have RS like in part of your end board. So really cool deck, no pun intended. We're looking at the side deck. They still respect Malice. Like, Malice is still a strong contender. As you saw, it won the event, so you can't say anything about playing Lancia. It's surprised to see one Droll main, one Droll side. I wonder what the prohibition is for. Maybe they call for Fraudalis Harmonia with it, because that card is really hard to stop at the moment. Yeah. All right. Now we have Mitsurugi. I wholeheartedly think Mitsurugi is like arguably one of the better decks in the OCG right now. Like, it can play Fraudalis Harmonia, it can play Dominant Spark, it can play like it already plays the new Ritual. They still have Herald, which makes Fraudalis Harmonia a stronger card, like over there. Yeah, like there's nothing wrong with this deck. Like, I'm surprised to see just 2 Solemn Judgments. I probably would have thought they would have played more Solemns. If I'm not mistaken, the Malice list, the one did play Solemn. It did play Solemn, which that is another underground episode that we'll talk about like in the future. I think Malice is one of the best decks that can play that new Solemn. But I also think Mitsurugi is another one. Well, you know, you can argue with Purification. You don't need that many Solemns. This is a very searchable card in their archetype. yeah, no surprise seeing this topping. Branded Magistus Dracotail. So this already arrived in the TCG. Funnily enough, outside of the one maxi and the one extra draw, this list is pretty much TCG legal. Yeah, this is really cool. They are playing Dimensional Barrier in the side deck and Red Reboot, but you know, we can just ignore those, right? Secret Village is a card you will see this card in Dracotail side decks. I mark my words, you will see it this format. With Radiant Typhoon being very popular, I think this card is going to be very, very popular in this deck. Alright. Elfnote Fiendsmith. Another variant of Elfnote. Again, really cool deck. This, instead of playing too many Power Patrons, they're playing like Engraver. Just Engraver. I'm surprised they're only playing Engraver and they're not playing Tracked. You can make the argument that it does conflict with Harmonia, and you don't want to like rely on summoning from their extra deck too much with it. But I really do like Fiendsmith in this deck. I really think this is one of the really cool variants of the strategy. I have seen OCG players that have been playing this variant for a long time, even before Blazing Dominion, and I think it's gonna be this is gonna be their time. Like, Elfnote is just really strong as a deck, and if you can play an engine that can summon Caesar, like alongside your other disruptions, that makes it even stronger. And now you have another Elfnote variant. This is the White Forest variant. Shoutouts to Bim YGO. He is like the White Forest master if you want to like watch his videos. In his opinion, this is not the strongest way to play White Forest or the strongest way to play Elfnote. However, it is being played in the OCG, and this does work out for them. Something really important to note is they are playing the original Simple Spoils, which I'm surprised that the other variant, the Cool Toon deck, well, was it the Cool Toon deck? The deck that was playing Jet Synchron. I think it was... Yeah, the Power Patron build. I'm surprised this build was not playing that card. They are playing it. But in all honesty, like, this card is very searchable in their deck. Like, I'm also surprised to see no Diabellstar or Wanted. Like, I would have thought those two cards would have fit in this list, like, very well. But yeah, I think Elfnote with White Forest makes a lot of sense. This is a very synchro-based archetype. Elfnote has ways to just play spell and traps, like funneling through their boards. This deck does not conflict with Harmonia because it's entirely synchro. Yeah, really cool list. Also, they're not playing the Azamina stuff, so you don't have to worry about the lock involving like the spell cards. Also, I kind of want to mention, this list is not doing it, but can we talk about how cool, no pun intended again, the back-to-back is being played in like other synchro decks? Like, this card is made for Cool Toon, but in other synchro decks, this card is also really... I'll just stop saying it. This card is also really neat. It can re-summon Arciela, it can re-summon Silvera. Like, Diabell can summon this card because it is a synchro tuner. Yeah, this is like one of the funnier versions of the deck. I'll just say it. Elfnote is a top meta contender in the OCG. I'm surprised that this list is only playing one Regina, but to be fair, this is more focused on the White Forest stuff, so maybe they just couldn't find room for all the ratios. But yeah. So my overall thoughts, I think all these strategies that have topped this event are all really solid strategies. Like, I'm surprised this deck is not playing Harmonia, but you know, you could play. It goes to show you that if this made top 4, even without it in the main or side, it kind of just shows you how strong Cool Tune is now, thanks to Rotary. Apex Fusion is something I did not expect in Lunalight. This is a really cool card in there. And Elfnote is just really strong, as I predicted it would be. And now then you have Malice. You're in this channel, we're never gonna complain about a Malice top. In other channels, you will hear a lot of complaining about this deck, but at least on my particular channel, we love this deck. All right, that's it from me. Let me know in the comments if you like this sort of videos. I am more inclined to do them like every week or so, if you guys wish. But until next time, keep practicing and keep dueling.